This is Shy,
And this is Megan,
and this is the Magical Happy Hour,
a podcast where we share our love for Disney and theme parks, travel tips, food.
and anything else we feel like talking about.
It's our 6th episode.
That's crazy.
Wild. What are we talking about?
So, today we are each going to take turns describing to you guys what our perfect day in Disneyland looks like.
Throughout the resort. Just making the most of it.
Yes.
This is definitely the park that we're most acquainted with, and which is why it's the one that we chose to cover, I should say, the resort that we're most acquainted with. That's why it's the one that we chose. We, of course, always like to cover some news at the beginning. Interesting week.
Really interesting week.
We finally got some news about what's going on with Haunted Mansion, as well as finally the dates that Oogie Boogie tickets go on sale for both Magic Key holders as well as all guests. But that's going to already have happened by the time this episode comes out. So
hopefully when this episode comes out, you'll still be able to get tickets to Oogie Boogie Bash. But we'll see. They have added a lot more dates this year.
Yeah, like 3 months worth of dates just about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
2.5.
Mm-hmm. August through October?
Yes. Like the end of August.
Yeah. And tickets went on sale way later than I was expecting. I thought tickets would have gone on sale at the beginning of June, and we're nearly to the end.
Yeah.
Nuts. But I think we should talk about Haunted Mansion, I feel like, is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah. Why do you think they are going to utilize a virtual queue?
So really the only thing that I can think of why that's what they're opting for is the amount of space the queue has to extend to accommodate for how many people are in the parks at that time wanting to do the Haunted Mansion. I haven't even seen anything official talking about the virtual queue. I just saw Fresh Bake's little coverage of it. And I think it's such an astute observation that they made to be able to make that call that that's what they were going to opt for. I don't know. I'm honestly very surprised that that's what direction they're headed in.
Yeah, and I wonder how long it's going to last for.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like there still might be some construction going on when the ride reopens.
Oh, like construction in the queue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe that's the main motivation?
That might be why.
That's really interesting. Are they behind schedule, maybe?
They could be. Yeah, I feel like they could be.
I don't know. I feel like all around it's kind of a weird development.
It is.
Super curious to see what the queue is going to look like. Clearly, they felt like it was something that was needed, so I don't know what could possibly be happening. Is it extended? I don't even know. I really haven't looked into that much about what's going on. I've just seen some of the construction updates, some monitoring of that on YouTube and social media, but not really. I mean, I certainly haven't been there to see it myself. What do you think?
Well, I know that the biggest factor was creating a wheelchair accessible entrance to the ride, because the way that it works right now, if you have a mobility device, is you're going to the queue and getting a return time and then joining in the lightning lane. But you still have to go up some stairs to get into the building. There's like 2 or 3 small stairs that you have to get up to go into the building. So I know that they are trying to create, or I know that they were creating like an elevator.
An elevator specifically for mobility reasons for guests?
Mobility devices, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea that they were doing that.
That's what this is for.
Oh. I thought it was to make it more accessible for wheelchairs or for other mobility devices, like extending how wide the switchbacks were because those were pretty narrow. I
Mhm.
really had no idea what this was all about. I was super just kind of taking it as it was being done and waiting to see what it would result as.
Yeah, before the project even started, there was discussion of how Disney had filed something through the city where they were needing to construct an elevator
Interesting.
for Haunted Mansion.
And it's not an elevator for leaving reasons because before, if you had for lack of a better term, like an emergency exit after you. So I've been in line for the ride, been on the ride essentially. When it's broken down after you go down the elevator, the stretching elevator, and having to take that exit, you have to walk up like 2 flights of stairs. It's not for that exit because I don't know where another accessible exit would be other than that.
It very well may be.
Okay. Because I remember I thought it was to extend the switchbacks, like widen the switchbacks. And I heard talks of reconfiguring a quote unquote like cast member break room, which I know there's some sort of that within that exit.
Hmm.
And having taken that exit only once, I know it's a bunch of stairs. So that's where I would think there would be an elevator alternative.
I also know that for guests that are unable to exit on the moving ramp,
Hmm.
that they traditionally have just stayed in their ride vehicle and gone all the way around
Hmm. That's
to
what
the
I.
beginning.
Mhm.
So it might have something to do with that as well.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
That also makes a lot more sense with I know there's been talk about the cast member, or not cast members, but or I guess maybe cast members and construction staff going into the mansion itself. So maybe that's all interconnected. But I've also
Yeah.
heard talks about them replacing the bride.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Which
Again.
I again, yeah. And it's only like the fifth iteration, you know?
Right.
Yeah. We love Constance.
We do.
For anyone that doesn't know who Constance is, Constance Hatchaway is the canonical name of the bride in the Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
And she has had many different forms throughout the years.
Yes. Many of which are pretty creepy looking.
And pretty rough looking.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think she's mostly a projection on an animatronic body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't a great look. You know, she could look better.
She could look better. I'm not the biggest fan of her right now.
No. Which, in amongst the iterations of her, this isn't even the worst.
No, it's not. I love a virtual queue. A
I mean,
free virtual queue, that's my favorite.
it could be worse for sure. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I've been very lucky with virtual queues in the past.
True. Yeah, we have been.
Like I've never faced the level of disappointment that is available.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Haunted Mansion is just such an icon that not having the option to wait for it feels like a sin. It's like give everyone a chance. Maybe it's not have they said it's exclusively a virtual queue?
I think initially that's what it sounds like it's going to be. But I mean, if you have a stand, they don't usually do virtual queues if there's a standby.
That's true. They do virtual queue or lightning lane instead,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it'll be kind of like instead of like Rise of the Resistance, I think it's going to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot. What is the name of that ride?
Cosmic Rewind.
Cosmic Rewind. Yes.
All I wanted to say was Mission Breakout, and I was like, no, 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 trying to suppress myself.
I think it's going to be like that.
Okay.
Because if you remember, we got the virtual queue, and then once it was our time, we went through the standby line. And that's how they're still running it. There isn't just like a standby that you can walk up and get into.
Yeah. Which honestly, I mean, very happy that we were able to do that when we were there, and we got into the virtual queue very early on, so it was the first thing that we did pretty much in that park.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
great way to start the
freaking
day.
amazing.
That was so fun. But so Haunted Mansion, bunch of switchbacks outside, not a great view, nothing. I mean, there's only so much interesting stuff to look at. Guardians, that's a built out queue with some story building and interesting things to look at. And we zoomed past that stuff. Not
Yeah, that
that,
was created for people to wait a long time.
hmm which is very interesting. I mean, we're not talking about Cosmic Rewind right now, but that's the thing that gets me about the virtual queues. If you're going to build out this whole thing, like you might as well allow people to wait in it, but things are always changing. That more sounds like they are caring more so than being less caring about it, so I'll take it.
I think it also is because there's still going to be some construction going on.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I assumed that they wouldn't open it until construction was done, but you saying that does make a lot more sense.
Because they're not making, I don't think they're making any changes drastically to the building. I think
Like
it's
the inside?
mostly,
Yeah,
but obviously they have to if they're building an elevator. But I don't think that the guests will that aren't using it will even notice it. I think it's mostly the outside queue that
yeah.
they're reconstructing.
No, 100%. Yeah, because
And
the
if you like, Megan was talking about how she's watched the construction videos. If you guys have any chance to see any of that, um, it's pretty insane. Like they got into the dirt. Like everything that you knew about Haunted Mansion's queue is gone. Just kind of sad, but it's
great
exciting to see what they will do with it.
RIP, all those pets. I'm sure they'll be back. I can't imagine that they would just toss them. Like
Right.
that was so creative. All of that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what comes of it. It's really exciting to hear that they would put in that accessibility elevator. And also, it makes sense why the talk of them redoing that portion was happening.
Hmm.
I'm just excited for it to reopen. I don't care. It could literally be piles of dirt outside forever. I'd be upset, but also
Just happy to ride.
happy to ride.
And it's going to reopen as Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is my favorite version of the ride.
Yeah, it's your favorite version of the ride.
I know.
It's a very good version. It's just not my favorite version. I'm an
I
OG.
just adore The Nightmare Before Christmas. I watch it year round. It's so good to me. And I think they go above and beyond for the overlay, and I really appreciate that.
I love that it changes in some way every year. Even
Yes,
the gingerbread house last year was my all-time favorite gingerbread house that they've ever done.
really.
Oh my
It was
God,
really
yes.
cool.
I loved it so much because I love the graveyard scene is my absolute favorite part of the ride.
Okay.
And they had the little ghoul that's like inside the tomb, like on
Uh-huh.
full display in the center of the gingerbread house. And I have never been so excited. He's not even my favorite character in the graveyard, but love him still.
Love him still. That's super cool.
Do you have a favorite character within the whole thing? Within Haunted Mansion? We are kind of hoping to do, I think it's on the agenda somewhere to do a like history of Haunted Mansion, history
Yes.
and secrets of the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
But, you know,
Um,
it'll happen eventually.
I definitely I love Zero. That's my favorite. I love passing through that scene and seeing Zero with his bone, and that's my favorite part. He's so cute. I love Zero. He's adorable.
Zero's so cute. I've also gained extra attachment to Zero because of my friend Michelle's dog being named Zero. So when there's cute Zero merch out there, I'm always swooping it up for her.
I love Zero.
The
He's the
mummy is my
best.
favorite, but
The mummy.
yeah, in the graveyard that's
Mhm.
sitting in the thing.
Mhm.
I love him. I want to know about their life. I shouldn't say him. We don't know. They're wrapped up in bandages. Who knows their gender? But I want to know
Who
their
knows their
story.
gender anyways?
Well, he's not available for me to ask him. Them, when I can ask them, they can tell me. They're like, I'm mummy.
I am mummy.
Gotcha.
That's all you need to know.
Loud and clear. Oh, just one final note about the Haunted Mansion. Heard that they're changing the ghost that follows you home at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, so right now it's a practical effect. Apparently, they're changing it to a projection type effect, like that they have in I'm sorry, not Hollywood Studios, that they have in Florida at the Magic Kingdom.
I'm trying to think if I remember.
So even Oogie Boogie, I'm pretty sure that they use a projection, because it's like the little treats that they do instead of the typical three different hitchhiking ghosts that could
Uh-huh.
follow you home.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah. So they're just changing the effect from being, I think right now it's like Pepper's ghost, whereas now it's going to be a projection, like how
Interesting.
they do the little treats. Yeah, which
It's all just magic to me.
you're like, they're just doing it. A ghost is following me home. I'm not
I don't question
diving into it
anything.
further.
Nope.
Yeah, I think they just want the effect to be more clear and like obvious to guests instead of, it is pretty faint right now.
It
And like,
is.
mhm. Where it's like it's pretty bright and prominent when we see it as a projection.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into the projection versus practical effects at another time, but it's something notable that's going on. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Interesting.
we'll have some new little fun things when the Haunted Mansion reopens. I got my Disney cup today.
I was gonna say, what's that cup?
Isn't it cute?
I love it.
So cute. And then I have Cliff.
Cute.
He's Disney appropriate.
Who is he?
Cliff, my friend's dog that
Oh, I
goes to
love
work.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So just moving on to a little bit more news, if you want to call it news. It's more of like a rumor, as Shy and I have discovered slowly through this process of elimination through
Yeah,
our own little bouts
literally.
of research.
Yeah.
um, so I think I've mentioned it a little bit in the past, but I am a frequent Disneyland Reddit lurker. Also, the Disney planning Reddit thread, I definitely go on sometimes and just see what people are talking about, see what people are asking questions about. I think that can inform what we talk about here sometimes. And something I saw a few days ago was somebody posted about a weird position that cast members have to stand in when operating the, what's it called, submarine voyage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one of my friends, just as Shy and I were talking before starting recording, sent me an article talking about how a cast member had passed out recently within the vehicle while operating the ride, and guests had to take control over it to be able to get back to safety. And part of the article mentioned before the oxygen ran out in the vehicle. So Shy and I were absolutely baffled about why is there a risk that oxygen is going to run out within a ride vehicle at any point, for one. And also, why isn't this being talked about more? Why isn't it being like further addressed? Why haven't we heard more about the person that apparently had to be on the walkie-talkie getting instruction about how to operate the vehicle? When I had come across this Reddit thread initially, I saw that somebody else had mentioned a similar incident, or this incident specifically happening in 1992. So I just kind of, took the initial post for what it was, saw this person talking about this other incident, and just kind of moved past it. So we were really alarmed being sent this article earlier, and what in the world was actually happening, what in the world actually happened. And we saw multiple news articles posting about how this was something that happened days ago. An incident that happened in 1992 was repeating itself and just has happened recently. Upon further investigation, it does sound like things became kind of convoluted, and these news outlets were picking up a story that was not maybe fully sussed out, or they were like combining two stories together,
Mm-hmm.
and that this isn't actually something that happened recently, but instead is a reaction, I guess, to something that, like, one post and people were relating it to another story. I don't know. What did you think of it?
Yeah, so it was super confusing, and between two or three different articles, we ended up kind of piecing it together. But it sounds like someone took a picture of how the cast members operate the submarine, or at how they're at some point operating the submarine. I'm not sure if it's like that for the whole ride because I don't go on it, and I definitely won't be going on it anytime soon. Um, and someone commented on that and explained what their experience was back in 1992, and then different websites were referencing that story, but were making it sound like it was something that just happened a few days ago. So it was really, really confusing, but either way, it sparked a conversation between us, going back and forth a little bit as, is this a real possibility? And the submarines at Disneyland are very much real submarines. And I mean, that is a possibility. That is, you could potentially like run out of oxygen. I think that obviously there'd be interventions, plenty of interventions. I'm sure there's a plan A, B, C, D, and E before something like that were to ever really happen. But it's terrifying that it is an option, and I won't be going on that ride ever, I don't think.
No, it doesn't sound, it sounds even less appealing now.
Yeah. I didn't want to go on it before because it's uncomfortable, but now I don't want to go on it because it's uncomfortable and I'm afraid of getting stuck.
Yeah, like feeling claustrophobic in a tight, hot environment is one thing. We all deal with our own phobias and fears and uncomfortability, but having the thought, or having the very much possibility that you're not getting a steady flow of oxygen possibly in there, that's absolutely absurd and horrifying.
Yeah, so you won't be catching us on that one. We'll be admiring its beauty from afar.
Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah. Let's maybe address these issues. And especially if this story is circulating, why aren't we getting an actual quote or an actual statement from Disney addressing the actual safety of the ride? Like, should we be concerned that we're getting enough oxygen in a ride vehicle?
Yeah,
That doesn't seem right.
it doesn't.
Any other news?
The walls are down in front of Din Tai Fung.
Yeah, exciting. We
It
got a
looks
new,
really beautiful.
yes. I'm excited. I love Din Tai Fung.
I've never been, so I cannot wait to check it out in downtown Disney.
I can't wait to drag you there and consume 50 soup dumplings in one sitting.
I am really looking forward to trying the soup dumplings. I'm also really looking forward to trying they have like these fried pot stickers that look delicious. And I'm also really looking forward to trying their dessert.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever had dessert there.
It looks like the soup dumplings, but it's some sort of chocolate filling inside,
Ooh,
and there's something else that goes along with it. I was watching someone's video on what they order when they go there, and it looked so good and it looked really cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying that.
that sounds so tasty. They have I'm pretty sure it's green bean appetizer that
I've seen
is
that too.
super good. Oh my God. That that and the soup dumplings I think are my two favorite things there. And then I don't think I've ever gotten like a drink, like a cocktail there, I should say, like an alcoholic drink, but I have gotten a one of their um like boba teas, which
Oh,
is absolutely delicious. Like one of their jasmine green tea bobas. Mhm. Oh,
ooh,
yeah. So good.
that sounds super good. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, Shy, I want to hear all about your perfect day at the Disneyland Resort.
I want to hear all about your perfect day first.
Why? Because I'm controversial? Hmm. Okay.
How are you starting off?
So starting off, I'm absolutely getting food. I'm
Priorities.
I'm absolutely getting a snack. I'm absolutely getting coffee, waffle Cristo. I know we've mentioned it in the past. I know it
Ooh.
might not be around forever. As of right now, as of June 20th, 2024, and before, since about December of last year, I think was the first time I had it, I'm getting a waffle Cristo at the Royal Street Veranda and a
Okay.
hot coffee.
Yes.
I am sitting at the Rivers of America
Ah, yes.
and taking a sit for a minute. Of course, I'm basically rope dropping. I'm basically rope dropping this because I love a relaxing Disney morning. Very rarely am I rope dropping a ride. Very rarely am I rope dropping, period, but I'm down for it.
Unless you're with me, then we're most definitely.
Yeah, of course. I'm so down for it. It's just I'm it's hard for me to leave the house.
It is.
So I move slowly. If Indy's open, that is where I am going straight away. I did recently hear, which it's probably going to influence my next trip once Haunted Mansion's open. Well, I guess that might be a little screwed up now if we are dealing with a virtual queue,
Mm,
but another person
let's
on
not
Reddit,
count that.
let's not count that. Let's not consider that. Somebody on Reddit recently said that they love rope dropping Haunted Mansion and
Hmm.
the cast members like open the gates when you're in front of it. Oh,
Oh.
I'm living for experiencing that. I absolutely cannot wait. It is on my list. I honestly have a whole list of things that I have never done that I want to do, so maybe we can talk about that in the future.
Oh, yes, I do as
Mhm.
well.
Oh, fun. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So let's say going to Indy first
Okay.
because that's my one of my favorites. I think I am then jumping to Jungle Cruise,
Okay.
doing it, then moving towards Fantasyland,
Okay.
Toads, then Snow White. I'm grabbing a snack after Snow White.
Ooh, what kind of snack?
Mm. It is certainly a toss up, but I'm probably getting a churro.
Okay.
It kind of depends on what is available, like what churros are available at that time. and what time of day, I'm able to get through all that. So let's say it's, mm,
How many rides is that? 3?
that's 4.
4?
Hmm.
You're probably around 10 or 11 o'clock.
Right? Yeah. That sounds like churro time to me.
That sounds like churro o'clock, actually.
That actually sounds exactly like churro o'clock.
Yes.
Yes. So let's say I get a churro. Let's say I get a classic churro because I hate every other offering. I'm getting a perfect churro. But let's say before the churro, before I leave Fantasyland, so I'm gonna do Toad's Snow White. I'm gonna get a churro, but first I'm walking through the castle. Not just walking through the castle entrance. I'm doing the castle walkthrough.
Oh, fun.
The castle walkthrough is fully a must do for me. Maybe not on every trip because I know it's not everyone's thing, but I love it in there. It's a little spooky, but also beautiful. If you've never done it, I think it's so underrated. Go do it. Treat yourself. I'm walking through the castle. Then I'm going to get a churro, probably from the cart that is in front of the castle, so I can just walk straight through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to walk straight through, circle up, grab a spot on Jesus Christ, my brain. I kept wanting to say grab a spot on Galaxy's Edge. No. Grab a spot on Star Tours.
Okay.
Yeah. I really love Star Tours. I was actually thinking the other day about how I haven't been on Smuggler's Run in
Mm-hmm.
quite some time. I think I need to do that again, but I really do prefer Star Tours, but I think that's because I can sit in a big room and not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on Smuggler's Run, there's some expectation of like participation, and sometimes you have to like talk to the people around you. Whereas on Star
It's a
Tours,
team effort.
yeah, exactly. Which team efforts are fantastic. But on Star Tours, I can sit down and I don't have to talk to anybody. And they might put my picture on the screen because maybe I'm the spy.
Yes.
And that makes you feel special and chosen.
It
And
does.
yeah, much like I think so, like not what we're talking about, but when we did the Monsters Inc. laugh floor
Mm-hmm.
and they have that guy.
Mm-hmm. I was
Oh my
just
God.
thinking about that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So fun. I think laugh floor is underrated, but I know some people think it's silly and cheesy, but we love a silly show. So let's say I did Star Tours. We're going to move back towards the back of the park. So
Okay.
let's say Matterhorn from there. Moving on from Matterhorn, I'm going to move straight back into Toontown. Going to do my rounds there. Honestly, I might not ride anything. If Roger Rabbit's is a short wait, then I'll go on it. If it's not less than 20 minutes, I'm probably not going on it. I'm probably not going on it. Even though I think it is quality, it's a good ride. It's fun.
It is.
Mickey and Minnie's, though, Runaway Railway, I'll be there. Go on that. Circle back out after seeing you know, our Disney friends, our mouses, our goofs, and our ducks.
Mm-hmm.
See if everyone's out and about. I've never seen Pete, and I would love to see Pete. I would absolutely lose my mind in a great way. But we're probably waddling out of there. Catch the
Waddling
train.
for sure.
Waddling for sure. Catching the train.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Because right now the train is closed at New Orleans Square. We don't know when they're going to reopen that, probably after the Haunted Mansion is done. But if I'm already back in Toontown, I'm fine with that. I'm not missing anything by not taking, even though I think the full circle tour on the train is ideal, I'm okay with this decision I'm making. Catching the train at Toontown,
Okay.
taking it back to the front of the park to Main Street, jumping off there, I'm heading to California Adventure. Because now, like, what time do you think it is? Like 1, 2 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm hungry and I want a drink. Where am I going first?
And 2 o'clock is a pretty good time. 2, 3, even 4-ish are pretty good times to get food.
Yeah, like people are napping. it's in between lunch and dinner, and
Mhm.
I'm not grabbing, I'm not sitting down anywhere. I'm not trying to find a reservation spot. I
Right.
probably already mobile ordered it. I am getting a chili con queso from Carsland. And then I'm walking back behind Carsland into Avengers Campus. And usually I get a drink at Pim's because I really like getting the drinks at Pim's, but they've been changing the menu recently. So I check out what they have and also check out what the backlot has to offer drink wise,
Mhm.
weigh my options and get whatever speaks to me. But either way, I'm probably going back to Avengers Campus, probably going to take a seat somewhere and hope that a show starts happening because I do like to watch their little fight show that they do because California Adventure doesn't have that much live entertainment going on.
Mhm.
And it is fun to see. Even I've watched it so many times, but I do enjoy it. I've never lined up to watch Spider-Man, but I've caught it enough times. I've never sat or like tried to stand and like watch the entire thing, but just walking by, I've seen it enough. But the other one is a little bit longer, I think. So I'll sit and I'll try to watch that, or just people watch. Lots of characters come and go out of that area, so it is fairly entertaining.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to Fill Our Magic because that's my biggest priority in California Adventure. It is my favorite show in both parks. It's very Donald Duck centric, so it's what I want to be in. Also, upon Shy and I's last visit, apparently you're allowed food and drinks in there now, which you used to not be allowed food and drinks. So I'm not bringing food in there because I'm messy. I'm eating my chili con queso, and then, if I need to finish my drink, I'll go in there.
So fun.
So fun. Worth doing, worth doing. From there, mm, well, I'd look at the wait for Monsters Inc., but if it's over 20 minutes, I'm not waiting. I think that's my my motto
Yeah,
for some of
pretty
these rides.
much.
If it's more than 20 minutes, I'm not waiting. Um, but also catch me on a good day. I don't know. Where am I? Okay, Monsters Inc. Let's say Monsters Inc. has that wait or didn't. Whatever. I'm done.
Okay.
Moving over to, I'm going to go back over to Radiator Springs, and I'm doing Radiator Springs Racers. From there, moving to Incredicoaster, moving back towards San Francisco, probably getting another snack. San Francisco has a lot of fun, different food. So, doing Radiator Springs Racers, doing Incredicoaster, I'm just going to do the full lap around Pixar Pier, full probably circle around Grizzly Peak area just to scout out if there are any, little live entertainment things happening, any characters out and about. Probably not at this time because we're probably nearing the sundown time and a lot of characters kind of shuffle back in by then.
Mhm.
I'm probably going to head out, go back towards Disneyland, go back into Disneyland, doing Big Thunder Mountain, and then kind of just exploring, maybe just dawdling around for the rest of the day. I don't know if I'm doing any other rides. Maybe Teacups by myself or Alice in Wonderland, depending on the wait. Maybe trying to catch whatever show is happening. I'm not a big fireworks person, but
Mhm.
I might try to enjoy like the projections or something if they're going on. If Phantasmic's a thing, I probably would have tried to plan for that earlier, but I would have gotten some sort of dining package. Even though that is my favorite show, I haven't seen it since it restarted, so I don't want to put that as a part of my perfect day because I don't know if it's a part of my perfect day anymore. But
Ooh.
yeah, I love it,
Without
but
Murphy.
exactly, without Murphy and without it being what I knew it as, because
Yeah.
I don't know what other changes they made. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it anymore. Um, which is okay. It's fine. Things change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty much my highlights. Pretty much all the things that I crave. I think the only thing I missed is grabbing a Dole Whip at some point and maybe a corn dog, but I didn't talk a lot about my favorite foods, but movement throughout the day, that would be, those are kind of my ideal things. One thing I did miss in California Adventure is I do like stopping to watch Five and Dime briefly.
Mm-hmm.
So probably upon entry to the park, I would hope that Five and Dime is there and stop and watch them for a little bit because I feel like they're always kind of out and about. Of course, not always, but I feel like I can usually catch them at some
They are a
point.
lot, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. They're the most consistent entertainment in the park for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Okay, we are back. We had a little break in between recording because I was a very sleepy girl.
It happens, you know.
You know, that night shift life.
Readjustment.
Constantly trying to flip back and forth between days like a normal person and staying up all night for work.
A whole hero.
It takes a toll.
Can only imagine. I don't know how you do it, truly.
I don't know either. It will be 3 years of working nights in like less than 2 weeks.
That is a wild thing to think about. That it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I don't want to talk about the passage of time right now.
Yeah. So, and 3 years in, I'm still adjusting. You never really adjust fully to working night shift, but it is what it is. It is the life I've chosen, and it works for me. So, let's get into what my perfect day in the park looks like. So, starting off, I would love to stay on property. I would love to stay at the Disneyland Hotel or the Grand Californian Hotel. It's just like an extra magical little touch to your vacation. So that's how I would like to start is by waking up in the Disneyland Hotel.
Wow, I didn't even think about that as part of my perfect day, like where you're staying or where you're waking up. But no, that totally makes sense. I love that you included that.
Yeah, I'm like, I just want to wake up and be in the Disneyland Hotel. That feels, I've never stayed there, but it's a bucket list for sure. It's something that I will do one day, but that's how I would like to start my day. And then I would like to maybe get room service.
Mm.
Get a little brekkie while I'm getting ready, have a little coffee, have a little mimosa while I'm getting ready. That seems like it would be so much fun. And then because I'm staying in the Disneyland Hotel, I get early entrance into the parks. So I would be in the park before everyone is able to get there. I can get in like I think you can get in like around 7 and then they'll let you like into Fantasyland and Tomorrowland after 7:30.
Mm.
So I would love to just take in the empty scenery of Main Street in the morning and start taking pictures with my friends, pictures of Main Street empty like that. I feel like would be so cool because I have experienced Main Street empty at the end of the night after the park closes, and it's beautiful with all of the lights. But I think it would be really fun to see it like that in the morning too.
I feel like we got a little taste of that from when we stayed at the Disney World Resort. Not that we were there super at like the start of the very beginning of the day, but we were there pretty early and we got some really good pictures early on.
Yeah, yeah, we did. That was amazing. So I would love to experience that in my home park. So after that, I would probably want to take advantage of being able to queue up for Peter Pan and ride Peter Pan in the morning.
Hmm.
I think that would be such a magical start to the day. I love Peter Pan. It's my second favorite dark ride in the park, first being Alice in Wonderland. Um, but yeah, so I would probably start at Peter Pan and then move over to Tomorrowland and hop on Space Mountain, start tackling some of those rides, and then be prepared to head over to Indiana Jones once it opens at 8 and ride Indiana Jones, maybe Jungle Cruise, maybe Pirates, maybe go on Haunted Mansion, maybe go on Winnie the Pooh. Maybe I would then take a look at Rise of the Resistance and see what that line is looking like. And if it's too long, potentially getting a pass to get on that ride without having to wait in line.
Like a individual lightning lane.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then after that, probably looking closer to lunchy time. And I would, where do I want to have lunch?
That's always the question, isn't it?
That is always the question. I think, okay, so I think after Rise of the Resistance, I would maybe see what Oga's is looking like.
For lunch?
Have, well, I was thinking have a beverage and
Mm.
maybe a snack while I'm there, while I'm already in Batu, Galaxy's Edge.
Hmm.
And then after that, I think I would hop on the train in Toontown, take the train back to Main Street, and have lunch at Carnation Cafe.
Mm. Okay.
I ate there for the first time on my last trip, and it was so good. I loved the interior decor. I loved seeing old pictures of Walt Disney, and the food was also really delicious. So I think that would be fun.
That's
And
right.
then maybe at that time, I would hop on over to California Adventure after lunch and maybe catch like a parade going on over there if they're having one that day. Like right now, if we were doing this, Pixar Fest is still going on, so maybe getting to go see that parade and then hopping around, grabbing some beverages. That's my favorite thing to do at California Adventure is try as many different drinks as my budget will allow while I'm there because they always have a lot of tasty offerings for adult beverages. And on my perfect day, I'm going to have a nice little buzz going.
What's fun about that is that we both have our own videos of when we drank in what do we call it? Drinking around California Adventure, like how they have drinking around the world in Epcot.
Yep,
Yeah, Shy mapped out like the best spots in each land, and we tackled that. We tried to share at certain times. We had my boyfriend there as well, so he helped out. But I think we all have different tastes, and so we all kind of ended up doing our own thing.
definitely.
But worth checking out if that interests you.
Many drinks were enjoyed, for sure. Then I would maybe be ready to tackle some rides. I love Cars Land. I love Radiator Springs Racers. But I think I would want to save that maybe more for the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe instead I like getting on Ariel. I like doing Soarin'. I like doing Incredicoaster. And then after that, I think I would head back to the hotel. I would hang out by the pool and go swimming and maybe enjoy another beverage at Trader Sam's.
Wow, elite. Elite move.
This is my perfect day. Okay, it's not something that I would be able to get to do all the time. But if I could do whatever I wanted, I would definitely love to do some of that. And then maybe I would head back to the room, freshen up a little bit, and get ready to head back to the parks for the evening. So hmm, I think I would go back to Disneyland, maybe catch an evening parade. Maybe I would get to see a show if they have a show going on. And then I would have dinner at Blue Bayou
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and sit right by the water and watch the boats go by on Pirates. And then after dinner at Blue Bayou, I would absolutely have to ride Pirates again because I just feel like that's what you should do after having a meal at Blue Bayou or before. After I ride Pirates
Again?
again, I think maybe the sun would be down. And when the sun goes down, I want to go down on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
That wording was a choice, and I appreciate it.
And so I would take a ride on the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah. Go check out a goat that's perched up there. Say hello.
Oh yeah.
Past the
What's up,
Rainbow
Billy Goat?
Ridge. Don't blow us up.
Don't blow us up. Um, After Big Thunder, another ride that I love to do at night is Matterhorn. And I think we've talked before about, I know we've talked together. I'm not sure if we've talked about it on the show or not, but there's a theory, or there may be some scientific evidence behind it, but that roller coasters go faster at night because they've like lubricated the piping throughout the day. So it goes faster. I don't know. Am I explaining that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the technicals about it, but I think that's like I don't know if it's a factual statistic or if it's something that like roller coaster heads have discovered on their own or their anecdote. But I think we did mention it when we had talked about Space Mountain in the past, but also I could totally be wrong because I think that's why I said I wanted to do it later in the day than early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Matterhorn at night is definitely a good choice.
Yes. There was one time where I was on the Matterhorn at night when the fireworks were going off. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? That is magic right there, man.
Okay, but that definitely, I haven't done that, but I will advocate for that has to be second to being on Big Thunder Mountain during the fireworks because
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing.
Yeah. If you can try to time that, it's amazing.
The fact that I've done it accidentally, I believe you can do it on purpose.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. What else do I like to do at night? Anything outdoor really is super special at night. Jungle Cruise is really fun at night. Everything in Fantasyland is really fun at night. And sometimes there's a little less strollers that are in the way at
Truly.
night.
I don't mean to take away from your favorite or your best day. We can totally cut this out. I'm blanking on what they're called. The Storybook Land boats
The
at night.
Storybook Canal.
Oh yes, yeah. The Storybook Land canal boats at night, super cute. Love it. Beautiful. Probably also, maybe also good for fireworks, but I haven't done them during fireworks.
Yes, so I think that I want to say that I've seen Provost Park Pass, Chris from Provost Park Pass, talk about an experience that he had once being on the canal boats during the fireworks, and they actually stopped the boats,
Wow.
and you got to watch the fireworks sitting on the boats.
That's really cool. Even just being able to chill in those boats a little bit longer sounds nice, but
Oh,
especially if
yeah.
fireworks are going on.
Oh, yeah. And I love that little ride at night, seeing the lights. If you can't tell, I'm a big lights girl. I love popcorn lights. I don't know, something about it stirs up something in me. It makes me really happy to see them at night. Just like um Casey Jr. going on that at night. Ugh,
I've never
so
been on
so
that,
fun.
so I don't know.
You've never been on Casey Jr.'s train?
Not that I can remember, at least. Maybe when I was real little, but no.
As a girl that loves trains and loves the train at Disneyland,
Don't out me as a
are
train
you
lover.
okay? We're doing that the next trip.
I love that. Along with we should just do a whole things we've never done little day or
Yeah.
something because the other day Shy and I were talking about a different restaurant, or at least I was talking to Shy about different restaurants in the park that I've never eaten at.
There's as many times as we've been, there's still plenty of things that we've never even done. So we should definitely, and we've been talking a lot more about that. So I think our next trip together, we should definitely try to fill it with things we've never done.
I think that sounds super fun.
After some some dark rides, I would I would love to do some sort of package to see, say, like Phantasmic or to see the fireworks. There is a package that you can book for the Tomorrowland Terrace,
Mm.
and you can go up there and watch the fireworks. And I think that would be super fun. It's quite expensive, but there's a period of hours where before the fireworks, you're welcomed up there and you can go back and forth as you please. And there's unlimited, like drinks and there's snacks included in your ticket. And then you get special seating up there to watch the fireworks. And I think that would be super cool. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to trying to find somewhere to plant to watch the fireworks. So
Mhm.
most times I will just see them in passing, and that's usually fine with me. But if it's my perfect day, then I want to have perfect seating for the fireworks.
Yes, as you should.
And after that, I think I would just tackle any more rides that I wasn't able to get done during the day and hang out at the park until it closes and hang out on Main Street until it closes. Get some Gibson Girl ice cream and sit on Main Street and people watch and watch people leave the park. It's the look on people's faces after being in Disneyland all day long. It can be quite entertaining.
It's quite an array, for sure.
Like, I just want to sit on a bench with my ice cream and watch all of these people leave and then enjoy a little peace and quiet on Main Street.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that would be my perfect
Love.
day.
So well rounded. Very indulgent. I appreciate that. It's your perfect day. You should.
I'm doing all the things.
I love that. I think mine was like literally if I were to like go and like decide I'm gonna have my perfect day on a whim, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yours is much well more, more planned and thought out, which I appreciate. That's
That is
amazing.
just me.
It truly is. That is
That is
that is the
just
two of
me.
us in a nutshell.
Yes, it is. And that's great. People like you need people like me to help you plan your trips.
Hey, truly.
And people like me need people like you that are just more willing to go with the flow.
Loosen you up, shake you by the shoulders, and say it's
Woo!
all good. A perfect day can be truly sitting on a bench having a good time.
People watching.
Dude, I love me a people watching moment. Let me tell you. That's what might be really fun about that. I mean, I guess I shouldn't talk about the Tomorrowland Terrace not knowing anything about it. I'm just like, oh, a terrace. I can look at people from there.
Yes, yes, you can.
When we ate at, uh, now it's, do you know what I'm talking about? When we ate in DCA at
The
the
Magic Key Terrace?
Magic Key Terrace. That's what it is now? Is that what it was then?
The one that we went to on the rainy day?
Yeah, it must have been.
The
Yeah,
one like above like the wine country?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the Magic Key Terrace.
Okay. Then yeah, when we went to the Magic Key Terrace and we sat like kind of right against the front wall there and we got to kind of like look over, I feel like we definitely did some people watching. Like, ooh, what's going on down there?
Oh yeah, while we were bitching and complaining that there were no heaters up there
Yeah,
because we were freezing to death.
it was a freezing moment and we were soaking wet because it had been raining all morning. And even though we were prepared for it, we were still
Storming, like
storming.
absolutely storming.
Yeah. I posted a picture from one of our previous episodes when we mentioned that trip. And that was, when we took that picture, that was pretty much immediately as we entered the park because we were eating breakfast.
Yeah. Hmm.
And by the time we were at the Magic Key Terrace, it was lunchtime.
And we were drenched.
Hmm. Given I was already wet just getting into my car because I had left my window cracked on, or I shouldn't say I left my window cracked. Something cracked my windshield hard enough that it made my window crack.
Yes.
Yeah, so my seat was already wet. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
That was the opposite of a perfect day.
Hey, we made the most of it though.
We did.
I feel like I can take on a rainy day anywhere at this point
Yeah, after
after that.
conquering that, man. Yeah. But I don't think I've ever wanted to leave Disneyland more than I wanted to leave that day. I don't think
Yes.
I've ever really wanted to leave Disneyland, but I was ready to leave that day.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we looked at each other at one point like,
This
are
isn't worth
you
it
done?
anymore.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Nobody said that's too bad. We just left.
We said,
That's fine.
bye.
Goodbye.
Let's go get towels and warm blankies.
So, Shy, you've told us all about your perfect day, but what are, like, I'm going to say 5 of your must do's?
Okay, so my park must-dos are mostly in Disneyland. I would say number one, you have to ride the train.
Holla. Don't even take mine. That's rude.
I'm sorry, but you have to ride the train. And if that's my must-do and it's Megan's must-do, then it absolutely has to be yours. It has to be your guys' must-do. You have to ride the train. Um, I also think you have to ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's something everyone can ride. It's so cute. It's so much fun. I love it. Let's see. That's 2. Let's just throw in my one from California Adventure. I think you have to experience Radiator Springs Racers in Cars Land, and I think you have to experience it at night. It feels like a whole different ride. It's amazing all day long, but at night it's even better. If you have to wait in line, if you have to split your party up and go through single rider, if you have to purchase an individual lightning lane, whatever you have to do to get on that ride, I would say it's worth it. Um, let's see. That's three.
I'm not going to copy your must-dos, so I'm just going to build on them.
Okay. Um, I think you need to explore New Orleans Square, seeing the little shops, and there's even like caricature, and there is so much jam packed into this tiny little area of the park. I think you absolutely have to.
Great live music in that area if you can catch it.
Yes.
Characters wandering around that will surprise you. Like all of a sudden you'll realize you're standing next to one.
Yes, you'll turn around and there's Jack Sparrow,
Or Red.
or Red, or Jack, or Sally.
Or Tiana or Dr. Facilier.
Yes. Amazing. So fun. And then I think, let's see, that's four?
Yeah.
Okay. My last must do is you have to try the cheesy garlic pretzel roll. I will never get off of my soapbox about that thing. It's the most delicious thing in the world. If you don't want to get a beef or a pork skewer from, or a chicken skewer from Bengal barbecue and stuff it in there, although I think you should, if you don't want to do that, you have to try the roll on its own. It's so delicious. It also comes with marinara sauce if you want, but by itself, it's so good.
It is really good. I would say you all have to go back and figure out which episode that we talked about where you can get that from, but why don't you just let everyone know?
Huh?
Oh, I was saying I would say that you just need to go back in our episodes and figure out where to get that from when we talked about it. But why don't you let
Oh,
everyone know where you can get it from?
you can get it from Maurice's Treats near
The
the
Royal Theater?
Royal Theater, where you can meet the princesses, and you can also get it at Edelweiss Snacks near the Matterhorn.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Megan? What are your five park must-dos?
So, in the same vein, I also only have one in California Adventure, and that's to see Fill Our Magic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that show.
I know that 3D isn't for everyone. 3D definitely isn't usually for me either, but it is a 3D show. You pile into a theater, and it's just really cute. It's filled with classic Disney movies as well as newer ones, pretty much hosted by Donald Duck. So, of course, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a really cute, a really good show. Lots of music, just filled with music. You know, that's kind of the point of it all. It's cute. I mean, totally worth doing. I know people have mixed feelings about it. I love it. I think you should do it. It's something that I do, I think, just about every time I go to the park. And then I think Toads, you have to do. It is a day one attraction. How can you go wrong with one of them's?
Yep.
Shy took my railroad, so
Sorry.
that's okay. It's not my railroad,
That can
but
be
I
one of
would
your must-dos also.
no, because you already included it. I think we need five both unique.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. It is, of course, my must do, but I'm like, I want to, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jungle Cruise, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jungle Cruise,
And
one
anyone
that,
can go on Jungle Cruise.
yeah. And like, who doesn't love corny skipper jokes? It's so classic, so iconic. Even the
Yep,
queue is fun and cute.
it
Lots of
is.
like artifacts to see. I was going to say a bird will talk to you, but they moved that. So they're not there anymore. But that's okay. Two-story queue, even,
I don't remember where there was a bird.
on the stairs going up, there was a bird animatronic perched up there that would
Oh,
make noises. Yeah, big old bird.
Wow,
Could
it
not tell
seems
you.
that area is so narrow. Maybe that's why they moved him.
Well, he was like up above you.
Oh, got
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, definitely not in the way, but I think they moved him, I want to say, to the very end of the. I think that they moved that bird to the end of the ride right before you turn back into the dock, where they
Mm-hmm.
have the little, like, I think it's a monkey that's like cranking the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're right there. So, fun fact, that bird used to be in the queue, but I like that the queue's 2 stories
Mm-hmm.
so that, we talked about people watching, can certainly
Mm-hmm.
do it up there, but you also get a
Oh
really
yeah.
good view of like the loading dock and all of that. I just think it's very novel and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely must do get a churro.
Mm-hmm.
Can't not get a churro. I would say Dole Whip, but that feels wrong considering Shy is allergic to pineapple.
I eat Dole Whips though because it's
Yeah.
mostly just like fresh pineapple that I have reactions to.
Yeah, but I like a Dole Whip float.
You do like a Dole Whip float, but you
Yeah.
can that can be your must do.
No, feels wrong. I'm making it a churro.
Okay. Bonus must do. Try a Dole Whip.
Okay. If Shy is advocating for it, then hey, go for it.
How many have you got? Three?
I think that's four. So I said Toads. No, I said Fill Our Magic, Toads, Jungle Cruise, Churro.
One more.
Take a picture with a character.
Ooh, yeah. You
I feel
have
like,
to.
yeah, I feel like it's, or in like your favorite spot in the park.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can't find a character that you like necessarily feel compelled to take a picture with. I know
Hmm.
I love the princesses. Shy and I literally had princess breakfast. So much fun in Disney World, but I'm not waiting in line with a bunch of little kiddos to meet the princesses. That's just not for me.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Me either.
no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. But I think we like if you have the opportunity to do it, it is really fun, especially if it's a character you really like. Shy and I, one of our last trips, I was like, oh, I'd really like to meet Baymax. Baymax wasn't there, ended up meeting Hero. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Hero was great. Same with in Toontown. One day I will meet Pete. I'm so excited for that. Hasn't happened yet. I don't go to the parks enough to even try to figure out when he's there, but it'll happen one time. Same with Baymax. But there's lots of characters that are out and about all the time. Alice, Mad Hatter, Mickey Minnie, all those main characters, they're out constantly. You can find some villains once in a while strolling around. Evil Queen, Cruella, Peter Pan, good one to find. Peter Pan literally ran up to Shy and I in Disney World.
He sure did.
There was no one else around. That was super fun. Just, it's a fun interaction to have.
What was he doing? Chasing a leaf, I think?
He was holding a leaf.
He was holding a leaf. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are just fun encounters. I think they're definitely underrated for adults because, you're like so often the magic of it all is sometimes ruined for us, but those cast members are working hard and they're doing a really good job. It's definitely fun to give them a little praise and get a fun interaction out of it. And if you can't find a character you like, find a spot in the park that you enjoy taking a picture at. I love on the right side of the castle, if you're facing it from Main Street, they have like statues of Snow White and her seven dwarves right next to the wishing well. And that's one of my favorite pictures, one of my favorite places to stop and chill or take pictures in. I've many a time have seen Rapunzel and Flynn Rider over there stirring up some mischief. Very fun. Um, but yeah, those are my must-dos.
So fun.
Oh, just talking about character interactions because sometimes when I'm by myself, I try to see who's out and about. I might not take a picture, but I'm looking. There was one day I went to the park by myself and I was finishing up my day. I ended up sitting down kind of in like the plaza of DCA, so right across from Carthay Circle, kind of where they have, it's where they do the Christmas tree in the holidays, or where they have like the headless horseman. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like right in front of the shops.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sitting there on my phone, trying to figure out what I wanted to do next or if I wanted to go home. Mickey literally comes out of nowhere, says hello, takes my hand and kisses it. Are you kidding me? Sir, I'm just sitting here doing nothing, and you were just so kind and silly and sweet. Like, he didn't have to do that. Nobody
Hi,
had to do that.
Mickey.
Like, it was just so precious. Just, it just very kind. It certainly made my day. I wasn't
My heart.
seeking that out. I wasn't really seeking out anything. I was merely existing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, cast members work hard. Our characters work hard. It's very sweet. It's very fun.
I love that.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of negative things we can say about Disney as a whole, but what truly always makes the experiences what they are the cast members that are there.
100%.
Yeah. Pay them.
Pay them.
Oh, yay. I'm so happy to hear your must-dos. I was very curious what you're going to say.
Sorry I stole the train from you.
No, that's okay. I think it's just double
it's
doubled up on.
Yes, you have to. All right. So that wraps it up for this episode. But next week, we are going to dive into some history with Mr. Toads and the Disneyland Carousel. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Thank you so much for listening. We post new content every Saturday, so please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever else you listen so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget to review and rate us 5 stars, share it with your friends, and subscribe to @The Magical Happy Hour on Instagram. Megan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Megan Creedon, MEGANCREEDON, and there's a link to my TikTok on there. Shy, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Disney Obsessed Nurse. And if you're interested in having a professional travel agent that specializes in Disney and Universal Studios plan your next vacation, you can find the link to my website in our podcast notes or email me at shyanne@vincentvacations.com.
Join us next week where we cover Mr. Toad's history and secret facts, as well as history and secret facts of the carousel, as I mentioned before. Should be fun. Don't miss it.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Yay!
Hey.